Oh, thank you. Thank you. Going. How are you?
All right.
Your kid scored, so.
I mean, listen, every now and again, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. All right.
His reaction about it was great, though.
That's the thing. So, defenseman, unless you're Cal McCarr, Hudson.
Yeah, but he was flying,
Yeah.
He got there fast.
He was trying. He almost put himself offside. Actually, I was talking to Diego about it, saying that he was offside.
He might have been a step offside, yeah. But those guys weren't on the line ever.
Yeah, no, they missed at least half of us.
Yeah. All right, getting ready to start our game against Phoenix Coyotes. Starting lineup is going to be Letcher, Palauskas, Nietzsche, Prisgintis, and Aldridge. Draw one by Phoenix. They immediately go D to D and dump it into the zone. Cutting in net today. Puck goes behind, bounces away from Prisgintis, and it's in the corner. Oh, nice deflection by Nietzsche. Puck comes out of the zone. Prisgintis gets it across for Palauskas. Palauskas carries it, drops for Nietzsche. Nietzsche over to in front of the goaltender. Goaltender has to poke check it away. Coyotes go the other way. They got three. Nietzsche gets back, get the backdoor guy. Puck goes hard boards. Letcher bumps his man. Puck goes over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche chips it in and goes for a change. Paulo comes on, and you see Letcher still battling. Paulo over the far board. Reynolds is out. Campbell switched with, and Rubicki has come out on D2. Chilicki makes it as Letcher gets to the bench. Puck goes out of play. 16:07 to go in the first. Still 0-0. Paulo to take the draw. Face off, one over to Chilicki. Chilicki back to Rubicki. Rubicki to Campbell. Campbell dumps it in behind the net. Goaltender plays it over to the far board. Coyotes try to chip ahead. They do get a pass off the board. Centering pass. Good back check by Paulo. Coyotes shot goes wide and behind the net. Campbell giving some pressure. Coyotes gets the puck gets over to Chilicki. Chilicki gets it knocked aside and deflected out of play as Paulo tries to knock it away from the Coyotes. Same personnel for Fury. Coyotes going to change. Puck drop. Won by Coyotes. Shot goes high and into the netting. Doesn't look like it was deflected. I don't think we're going to go out of play, though. Rubicki takes the puck off of the faceoff, hits the Coyotes player and goes out. Faceoff should be outside the zone. Draw one by Paulo, but then knocked away by the Coyotes. Coyotes get a quick shot. It goes far, wide. Reynolds knocks it away and brings it in. Cross ice for Schlicky. Over to Paulo. Paulo takes it with a skate. Puck goes into some. Schlicky gets it over to Rubicki. Rubicki puts it in deep. Paulo giving pressure. Coyotes get it to the neutral zone and go wide. Looked like that might have been offsides. Good job by Paulo. Gets it out of the zone over to Chilicki, and Chilicki gives it back to Paulo. Paulo. Puck gets knocked away. Carter comes on it for a change. Gives it over to Onak. Onak shot into the defender's chest and dropped down. Kruger and Credidio join Carter. Coyotes carry into the zone. Try to get past Onak. Onak slows him down. Puck gets into Kruger's feet and then knocked over where Miller clears the zone. Miller and Onak at D. Credidio giving pressure. Tries to get it. Gets a nice hit on the Coyote player, and he has to ice it. 14-17 to go in the first. Kruger to take the face-off. Bouncing puck. Kruger gets it back to Onak. Onak over to Miller. Miller, shot on, goes wide. Looked like it hit the goaltender's pad and then went wide. Onak carries it through, gets a shot on. Puck behind the net. Coyotes up to the near board. Carter gets a hit. Onak keeps it in. Puts it over for Credidio. Nice pass by Onak between the legs. Centering for Kruger. Kruger got tied up. Puck went over the far board. Credidio lifts the stick. Miller goes and gets it. Over to Onak. Onak for Carter. Carter loses the puck. He's put it back to the neutral zone. Onak has to skate past a couple of players. Brings the puck in. This has come on for Miller. And now Aldridge. Puck goes into the neutral zone. Coyotes have to wait for a player to get off. Credidio changes. Carter changes. Brown and Bergeron come on. Shot into the glove of Cutting. 13-12 to go. Seidel, Bergeron, and Brown with Prisgintis and Aldridge. Somebody should get it. They're going to have to kick. Yeah. Took too long. Seidel gets kicked out. Bergeron wins it over to Seidel. Seidel to Aldridge. Brown chips it out of the zone. Bergeron does a nice job to get to his guy. Puck taken by the D. Nice hit by Prisgintis. Brown covering. Gets the puck hard over to Bergeron. Coyotes player gets in the way. Back for Prisgintis. Prisgintis takes a hit. Chips it forward for Seidel. Puck into the corner. Hits a couple feet. Seidel gets it across for Bergeron. Bergeron. Puck still with him. Gets knocked away by Coyotes. Coyotes go cross ice. Back into the zone. Prisgintis and Seidel working. Prisgintis tries to clear. It goes over to the D of the Coyotes, and he mishandles. Gets it out. Bergeron providing pressure. Coyotes losing the puck here. Brown over to the side, trying to get some pressure on. Puck to Prisgintis. Bergeron changes. Pulauskas comes on. Puck over to Pulauskas to Seidel. Seidel gets it knocked away. Back for Aldridge. Over to Prisgintis. Prisgintis looking for Pulauskas wide. Gets knocked away by the Coyotes. Brown changes. Nietzsche has come on. Letcher's come on. Campbell at D. As Aldridge went for a change. Letcher gets a little bit of a hit there. Puck moves over to Pulauskas, cross ice for Letcher. Letcher's got Nietzsche in front of everybody. Nice pass. Shot goes wide. The one-timer on the fly from Nietzsche goes wide. Great opportunity. Good pass by Letcher. Rubicki gets it up to Letcher. Letcher carries in, loses the puck, and the Coyotes get it into the neutral zone. Coyotes decide to chip and go for a change. Puck behind the net. Rubicki gets it. Flex in the corner. Up for Nietzsche. Nietzsche through the neutral zone. Loses the puck in the feet of a Coyote player. Coyotes avoid a check from Letcher. Carry it in. Takes a step. Should have been an offsides, but the other Coyote forward does a nice job of recognizing that he's going to make that move. Coyotes back to the D. Side, and a shot goes wide for them. Back behind the net. Trying to center. Gets deflected by Rubicki. Campbell and Rubicki working. Rubicki takes a cross check. Nietzsche comes in to help. Coyotes still have it. Shot in front. Nice job by Campbell to break that up. Coyotes still working on the near board. Puts it back behind. Up the far board. And a shot intercepted by Rubicki and then knocked into the neutral zone. Reynolds comes on for Pulauskas. Campbell goes back. Pins his man. Puck comes loose. Oh, he gets it loose. Rubicki got away with a trip there. Good job by Rubicki. Get a stick in the way. Puck bounces over to Reynolds. Fletcher goes for a change. Chalicki comes on. Onak has come on with Miller at D. Good job by Paulo. Always in the passing lane. Gets that one away and over to Miller. Miller goes behind the net. Up to Chalicki. Chalicki chips ahead for Reynolds. Reynolds has Paulo. He puts it deep for Paulo. Paulo back to Reynolds. Reynolds shot off of the pad of the goaltender over to the board. Onak carries it back in. Paulo in the corner. Reynolds comes to help. Onak goes back to his D spot. Chalicki in the slot. Puck reverses course. Chalicki gets there in the corner. Puts it back behind the net. Reynolds is there, tied up with his man. Coyotes get it over to the near board. Chip it ahead and back to the neutral zone. Onak across the red line. Puts it back in. Puck over to Reynolds. Reynolds' backhand goes across the net and into the near board. Chalicki puts it deep. Coyotes back with control. Right through the neutral zone. Try to put it forward. They're offsides, have to regroup. Reynolds goes for a change. Carter comes on. Coyotes back with speed. Get a quick shot off of, I think it might have hit Gage's face mask, but it had a weird noise, so I wasn't sure. Paulo goes back on. Credidio comes out. Kruger comes out, and Carter comes out. Puck over to Kruger. Gets tied up. Good stick by Onak. Puck in the middle. Kruger gets tied up with a Coyote player. No penalty. I don't think we're going to see too many penalties today. Puck goes over to Cutting and is covered. Aldridge and Pruskintis come out at D. Brown, Seidel, and Bergeron at forward. Still 0-0, 8:03 to go. Seidel to take the faceoff. So faceoff controlled by Coyotes. They got a kick over to the D. Coyotes dump it back in. It goes over to the corner. Puck shot in front for Cutting. Hits off of the pad. Brown goes to block a shot. Coyotes have to pass. Another shot. Cutting pushes it to the corner. Seidel working. Puck goes behind for Pruskintis. Pruskintis leaves it for Aldridge. Brown carries in. Gets a quick shot and into the glove of the Coyote goaltender. Seidel takes a bit of a shove after the whistle. Pulauskas, Nietzsche, and Letcher come out. Good job by Aldridge looking up and finding Brown. I think Brown had a little bit more time than he thought and didn't necessarily need to make that shot. Face-off won by Fury, back to Aldridge. Aldridge shot in front, deflected by Pulauskas, goes into the corner. Boston gets it to Porzingis. Porzingis shot. Hits off of the pad of the goaltender, goes over the far board. Nietzsche comes over. Coyotes get it out of the zone. Porzingis tries to do an escape and loses the puck. Coyotes behind. Porzingis pins his guy. Cutting smartly covers as the puck bounces over him. Nietzsche went for a pass. Didn't quite get all of it, and Coyotes got a quick shot off of the turnover. 6:56 to go in the first. Still 0-0. Paulo comes out with Letcher and Reynolds. Looks like we're going to try to spring Chalicki. Face off won by Coyotes. Get it over to Rybicki. And that's going to go for an icing. So Rybicki put it forward softly. Went for a icing. Chalicki comes out. The last face-off play didn't work. So we've got Chalicki, Paulo, and Reynolds. Paulo gets kicked out. Reynolds takes the face-off. Coyotes control the face-off back to the D. Gets past Paulo. Goes wide of Cutting. Coyotes back with it. Circling, gets over the D. Pass to the slot. Big save by Cutting. So pass over to the slot. The slot man passes it back door. Cutting makes a great save. Coyotes still with it in the zone in control. The Coyotes seem to be incredibly difficult to knock off pucks. They're pretty strong skaters. Shot wide. Try to dump it in. Hits. Rybicki gets it out. Reynolds gets tripped. And we're going to go on the power play with 6:04 to go in the first. This is a little fun bit of trivia here. Kyle Kushkowski is in the box doing the clock today. Face off. One back to Porzingis shot off of the blocker of the goaltender. Pawlowski's battling in the corner. Gets it up to Rybicki. Rybicki in front for Letcher. Hits Letcher's in the pads. Letcher diving, trying to get that puck, keep it in. Pawlowskis gives a hit. Coyotes clear it. And Cutting leaves it for Porzingis. Porzingis to Letcher. Letcher back to Porzingis. Porzingis goes to dump it in. It hits off of a couple of players, and Coyotes back the other way. Good job by Nietzsche tying up that guy in front so he didn't get an opportunity. Oh, turnover. Nietzsche was going for a... Porzingis should have had a penalty there. Rybicki doesn't have a stick. Letcher picks it up. That should have been a penalty. We got away with a couple there. Good thing this guy doesn't quite know. Puck goes ahead for Pawlowskis. Pawlowskis tries to get a shot. It goes off of the side of the net. 4:51 to go. 47 seconds left in the power play. Puck comes out. Campbell couldn't quite keep it in. Onak gets a hold of it. Letcher changes and Reynolds comes on. Puck bounces off of the boards, goes all the way back down. Onak gets a hold of it. 29 seconds in the power play. 4:31 to go in the period. Pass was for Reynolds. Paulo got a stick on it. Coyotes go back the other way. Onak to Campbell. Campbell back to Onak. Onak's going to carry it forward. Into the corner. Onak takes a hit. Puck goes over to Paulo. Paulo gets taken down. Reynolds and Paulo battling in the corner. Paulo's tied up. Over to Chilicki. Chilicki to Onak. Onak cross for Campbell. 4:03 left to go. Power play is expired. Shot. Puck in front. And Paulo had the wide open opportunity. None of the defenders knew where the puck was. And the Coyotes goaltender just knocks the net off to get a whistle. Kruger, Credidio, and Carter come out after the power play. 3:57 to go in the first. Brzgintis and Aldridge at deep. All right, Kruger gets knocked out. Carter goes to take the face-off. Puck goes behind the net as the Coyotes win it back. Coyotes mishandle, try to get it up. Puck bounces off of the board over to Brzgintis. Brzgintis gets it to Aldridge. Aldridge up for Credidio. Credidio puts it ahead for Carter. Carter's shot gets deflected and into the netting. Puck bounces. Coyotes push it ahead, and Fury wind up controlling it. Credito's shot gets blocked. Brzgintis puts it into the corner. Coyote goaltender knocked the net off again, but reset it for himself. Carter bringing the puck in. Another shot off of the blocker. Kruger, puck bouncing. Credito tries to control it. Coyotes take it back the other way. Carried in deep. Centering pass, everybody goes off of the board. Credito there. Kruger goes in. Puck comes on net, and Bergeron, Seidel, and Brown will come out. Campbell and Rubicki. 3 minutes to go in the first. Coyotes win the faceoff back. They go around. Misplay, and Brown gets a hold, tries to dump it in deep. Still with it, gets knocked away. Coyotes back, trying to put it forward. Campbell, forward for Brown. Brown chips it ahead. Seidel and Coyotes player get tangled up. Coyotes bring it back in the zone. Deep centering pass. Bergeron in the way, finds Brown. Brown puts it ahead. Seidel hard on the forecheck. But still behind the net, over the near. Puck misplayed. Seidel is there. Kicks it ahead. Coyotes go for a change. One guy carries it. Blaskus comes out. Over to Brown. Brown ahead for Caillou. Caillou brings it in. Gets in front, gets tripped. Caillou was tripped and fell into the goaltender. Official trying to explain why he didn't call a penalty, and I don't think he knows. Caillou was tripped. No. Nope. And then he said something about how Caillou could have gotten a penalty for going into the goaltender. So Letcher takes the face off. One back to Onak. Onak sidesteps the guy. Over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche, quick shot. Save. Blaskus gets a cross ice for Onak. Onak puts it in deep. Blaskus in the corner. That's the way it goes. Cross ice for Onak. Onak centering. Over to Letcher. Letcher. Letcher gets a stick on it, and it goes bar down. So with a minute 33 to go, I don't know. Well, maybe Onak is going to count that as a goal. I'm not sure. But I think it was Onak to Letcher, but I'm not sure if that's how it went. Maybe Letcher didn't touch it. So it's either Onak or Letcher from Onak. We'll have to wait for the score sheet. Paulo, Reynolds, and Chalicki are back out with Onak and Miller. Reynolds gets a hit on. Puck over to Onak. Onak going cross for Chalicki. Coyotes put it back in. It's offsides. Cutting. Leaves it for Miller. Miller to Paulo. Paulo. Puck got lost in the neutral zone. Coyotes bring it back. Over the far board. Cross ice for their D. Shot goes wide over to Chalicki. Chalicki to Reynolds. Reynolds has a one back checker, able to shed him, but couldn't quite keep control of puck. Nietzsche's come out. Krasdentis gets it over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas gets held. That was a hook. No call. Like I said, I don't think we're going to see too many. Nietzsche in the corner, just going to pin it, and that'll be the end of the first. We're going to go with Pulauskas, Letcher, and Nietzsche. Krasdentis and Aldridge D. Puck one back. Pulauskas puts it over to Krasdentis. Krasdentis looking for Letcher, ices it. Face off in feet. Coyotes knock it away from Aldridge and put it in to the corner. Nietzsche pins his man, but it's dug out. D put it back in. Goes to the opposite corner. Over to Prusgitsis. Prusgitsis battling. Coyotes dig that one out as well. Try to get a pass. It deflects off of Pulauskas. Fletcher and Pulauskas onto the race. Shot goes high and wide from Fletcher and all the way back out. Aldridge and Campbell come out. Puck up to Fletcher. And pops out to the Coyotes. Puck over to Chilicki. Chilicki shot in front. Rebound. Pulauskas winds up in the net. He goes for a change. On. Rubicki and Campbell are at D right now. Puck middle. Nietzsche tries to clear it over. Chilicki gets blocked. Again, tries to clear. Didn't quite get it. Puts it up for Reynolds. Nietzsche goes for a change. Paulo comes on. Reynolds. Oh! Reynolds kind of toe picks and goes headfirst in the boards. He's all right. Gets right back up. Coyotes bring it into the zone. Get a shot on Cutting, and he gives no rebound. So Reynolds having an equipment issue, has to come off. Carter comes on. Face off. Controlled by the Coyotes. Puck gets knocked away by Rubicki, but still Coyotes with it behind the net. Rubicki goes over the far board. Carter comes up to contest, tries to dump it back in. Up at Carter. Carter tries to get it for Chilicki, doesn't get enough on it, and the Coyotes are with it in the neutral zone. Carter recovers though and pins his man. Puck underneath him. Rubicki puts it into the Coyotes' defensive zone. Chilicki forechecking, goes for a tank. Presidio comes on. Paulo's still out. Campbell and Rubicki at D. Predidio's all by himself. Coyotes figure it out, and he chucks it in, hits a player. Paulo gets a hold of it, gets past one, gets past two guys, puts a shot on, goes back behind the net. Paulo goes for a change, and Kruger comes on. Reynolds comes back on. Carter goes for a change. Shot by Cody's blocked. Reynolds chips it ahead. Reynolds carrying in. Shot blocked. Onak gets a stick on it, gets it over to Miller. Miller puts it back in. Played by the Coyotes goaltender. Presidio comes in with a forecheck. Coyotes get it out of the zone. Onak goes cross. Coyotes go back out. Onak to Miller. Intercepted by the Coyotes. Bergeron has come out, gets a hold of it. Kruger and Coyotes get all mixed up. A lot of neutral zone here. Miller's pass gets deflected back to Onak. Onak ahead for Kruger. Kruger chips it. Coyotes go back the other way. And offsides. 13 minutes to go. Brown and Seidel will join Bergeron. Aldridge and Prusgitsis at D. Face off, bounce off of a couple of people, goes over to the Coyotes D. They go cross ice. and dump it into the corner. Aldridge puts it ahead. Coyotes pin it off of the board. Back up to the D. Aldridge and Seidel working. Puck over the near board. Intercepted by Aldridge up for Brown. Brown and Seidel bringing the puck into the zone. Brown over to Seidel. Takes a hit. Seidel gets it on his stick, but he gets tied up. Puck is in the backboard. Puck comes out over to Aldridge. Aldridge goes cross ice for Bergeron. Bergeron edge there. Puck flipped in front for Priskintis. Kolauskas is on with Brown. Shot high and up and wide. Nietzsche's out there. Brown lifts a stick. Puck goes over to Marty. Still over for Nietzsche. Brown goes for a change. Letcher comes on. Kolauskas rubs his guy out. Puck in the neutral zone. Offsides as Coyotes go for a change. Kolauskas chips it into the neutral zone. Coyotes regain control. Everybody's losing an edge out here right now. I don't know if it's the ice or what's going on, but Coyotes back behind the net. Up to the D, over to the sideboard. Shot blocked in front. Cleared out by Aldridge and goes for an icing. 11:09 to go. We'll get an ice cut somewhere around the 8.5 minute mark. Paulo, Reynolds, and Chalicki have come out. Campbell and Rubicki at D. Campbell working against two guys there. Puck and feet. Paulo tries to chip it forward for Reynolds. The Coyotes keeping it in. Go behind the net with it. Paulo finally pins his man. Rubicki gets a stick on it, but couldn't get a hold of it. Puck makes its way over to Chalicki. Chalicki to Reynolds. Reynolds and Chalicki back behind. Good job on it, getting there. The Coyotes wind up back with it. Chalicki gets pinned. Paulo digs it out. Over to Reynolds, but Coyote doesn't quite get enough on the Coyotes. Go back the other way. Campbell, good stick. Ricky gets tripped. No call. I mean, puck over to Reynolds. Reynolds shot goes through the crease and back out of the zone. Offsides is called. 10:05 to go. Letcher, Nietzsche, and Kolauskas with Onak and Miller. Coyotes go cross ice. Puck gets stuck in some feet. Into the corner. Centering pass. Good job by Cutting to knock that away. There was nobody in front for the Fury as the Coyotes had one guy in front there. Another lost edge by the Coyotes. Centering pass deflected by Miller. Onak takes it behind the net. Still battling. Another opportunity by Coyotes goes into the corner. Miller gets it out. Back into the neutral zone. Coyotes go up the near board. Carried in. Puck makes its way to the corner behind the net. And then in front, Nietzsche sees it, gets to it, over to Kolauskas. Kolauskas carries in, puts it forward for Nietzsche. It's deflected on the backboard. Nietzsche gets pinned. Aldridge and Priskintis come out. Carter is on. 8:42 to go. Dug out by Nietzsche. Nietzsche puts it back for Letcher. Coyotes get a hold of it. Up the near board. Kruger's out. Brzgintis to Aldridge. Aldridge up for Kruger. Brzgintis comes away with it. Gets it to Carter. Carter to Kruger. Kruger chips in. Presidio comes on. Puck over to Carter. Carter puts it back into the corner. Presidio over to help. Kruger. Oh, what a pass by Kruger. Unfortunately, it was just a little ahead of Carter. Presidio puts it back to Aldridge. Brzgintis over for Kruger. Kruger brings it in. Shot. Glove. And that'll be ice cut with 7:44 to go in the second. We'll take a little break and see you guys in about 10 minutes. getting ready to resume the second period. 7:44 to go. Coming out of the ice cut, we're going to go with Priskintis and Aldridge at D. Nietzsche, Pulauskas, and Letcher on offense. Coyotes wind up in control of it. Good stick by Letcher. Puck remains in the zone. Pulauskas giving some pressure. Puck comes up into the neutral zone and dumped in. Behind the net for cutting. Over to Nietzsche to Pulauskas. Pulauskas gets deflected. Gets it up to Letcher. Letcher carries it in. A little stutter step. Centering pass for Pulauskas, deflected. Pulauskas into the corner, puts it behind the net. Letcher comes around into the corner. Gets a big hit on. Aldridge keeps it in, but the Coyotes come out of the zone. Good stick by Priskintis, knocks the puck into the corner. Paulo has come out for Nietzsche. Pulauskas, lost an edge there. Bouncing puck in a bunch of skates. Paulo gets a stick on it. Coyotes keep it in. Puck behind the net, looking for a centering pass, hits the back of the net and goes to the corner. Coyotes put it back to the D, carries it forward. Pulauskas intercepts that pass and throws it back to the corner. Priskintis pins his man. Puck comes loose. Paulo knocks it aside. Coyotes still in control. Loose puck to Paulo. Paulo goes ahead for Letcher. Letcher chasing the puck down. Coyotes take it in the corner. Letcher pins his man. Puck goes behind. Paulo's there. Up the near board. Reynolds takes it off of the board and puts it back for Rybicki. Rybicki and Campbell at D. Puck bounces away from Rybicki. Rybicki gets tied up in the corner. Reynolds comes back to help. Coyotes still with it. Over to the near board. Paulo gets the puck from behind the net. Chalicki tries to chip it out of the zone. Coyotes put it back in. Coyotes still in control. I think that puck may have came out, but nothing happening. Behind the net for the Coyotes. Another centering pass hits the back of the net. Real sloppy right now. Puck makes its way to the neutral zone. Coyotes are still outside, so they have to regroup. Puck bounces all the way over to Rybicki. Rybicki to Campbell. Campbell going to carry in. Cross for Kruger, who's come out on a change. Kruger in the corner. Reynolds goes over to help. Puck makes its way to the sideboard. Shalicki, good takeaway. Forward for Kruger. Bounces off of Kruger's stick. And the goaltender winds up covering. 4:57 to go. Credidio and Carter come out. Kruger sets up for the faceoff. Onak and Miller at D. Coyotes control that puck back. Go over to the near board. Miller tries to knock it away. Goes over to Onak. Onak takes it behind cutting. Puts it back for Credidio. Credidio ahead for Carter. Carter off of the boards and puts it into the neutral zone. Coyotes wind up back with it. Good stick by Credidio. Gets a hit on him too. Coyotes regroup. Put it back. Misplay it. Kicks it back to his stick and then dumps it into the corner. Onak puts it forward. Bounces off of Kruger's skate. Back to the Coyotes. Credidio goes cross ice for Carter. Carter has Kruger with him. Shot. Glove save. Brown, Seidel, and Bergeron come on with Priskintis and Aldridge. Bergeron to take the face-off. Shot from Brown, deflected onto the sideboard. Good face-off win by Bergeron. Bergeron to Seidel. Seidel gets it back to Brown. Brown gets a shot on. Everybody's got to tag up. Coyotes back behind. Seidel comes in. Looks like we're running a trap with this group. Puck comes into the neutral zone, dumped into the corner again. Cutting, plays it off of the glass over to Brown. Brown chips it ahead for Seidel, but it bounces off of the boards. Coyotes keep it in. Brown gets a hit on. Aldridge gets a hit. Seidel gets the puck over to Bergeron, gets taken down. That is a penalty. No call. We do have a very young official. I saw him without his helmet on. He is very, very young. Priskintis carries forward. Into the corner. Brown goes for a change. Letcher comes on. Campbell comes on. Priskintis gets taken down behind the play. No call. The official is in the wrong place. Puck in front, cutting 2 saves. Campbell gets the puck over to Nietzsche. Nietzsche tries to get the puck in. Letcher has to glove down the deflection. Campbell gets across the red line and puts it in. Hits the linesman. Doesn't go anywhere. Offsides. Official took a shot to the groin. Looks like he's all right. Nietzsche sends that puck wide for Plaskus. Plaskus puts it in. Late icing. They might be training this officiating crew. It's a very young group. 2:24 to go in the second period. Nietzsche to take the draw. Bouncing puck, kept in by the Coyotes. Bounces past Nietzsche, centering pass, nobody's there. Good block by Campbell. Letcher gets to the breakaway. That's a penalty.
Jesus.
So Letcher gets taken out at the feet. The official finally lifts his arm, but he was way behind the play. And then he didn't go tell the. He needs to. He needs to tell the scorekeepers. Oh. And they're trying to decide if it's a penalty shot. Oh, they are going to call a penalty shot. So Letcher is going to take the penalty shot with 2:09. He's got to wait. Let's try that. So hopefully that's better. Paulo comes out. Puck over to the corner. Or sorry, over to the sideboard. Rubicki gets it up to Polauskas, knocks away off of his skate, and everybody goes for a change. Paulo gets it up to Campbell. Campbell chips it off of the glass and back into the Coyotes' defensive zone. Reynolds and Schlicky have joined Paulo. Campbell and Rubicki at D. Coyotes, they're back in deep. Puck bounces off of the boards and take it behind the net. Looking for a centering pass. Gets it. Shot goes wide off of the net, and Coyotes still in control. Chip back in. Centering pass. Doesn't hit anybody. Goes over to the All right. Onak knocks that puck away, goes over to the near board. Coyotes still have hold of it. Carter, stick was high, probably should have been a penalty. Onak collects. Kruger goes for a change. Seidel comes on. Cross-ice stretch pass by the Coyotes. They got somebody backdoor. Pass. Gage doing well to make sure nothing gets past him. Seidel has a little bit of space, tries to get a backhand shot, then tries to get a pass on Brown, and Bergeron come out to help him. Puck over into the corner. Brown gets a stick on it. Gets it over to Bergeron. Bergeron battling on the sideboards. Miller gets it back over to Onak. Onak dumps it in. Miller goes for a change. I'm sorry, Prisgintis is on with Aldridge. Brown gets that puck, gets it over to Seidel. Seidel gets it to Prisgintis. Prisgintis puts it in. Goaltender tries to play it, bounces past him. Seidel pinning it back. Brown puck gets knocked away by the Coyotes, and they go back behind the net. Bergeron trying to make a decision. Puck bouncing into the front. Nietzsche knocks it away. Brown goes for a change. Letcher comes back on. Saved by Cutting. Puts it into the corner. Prisgintis gets a body on his guy over to Bergeron. Bergeron takes a hit, but chips it ahead for Letcher. Letcher battling, slows down Coyotes, but they bring it back in anyway. Centering pass shot was deflected by Campbell. Good job with his stick to get in the way of that shot. Over to the far board. Campbell prevents the centering pass. Puck in the corner, Nietzsche pins his guy. Campbell gets the stick out over to Plaskus. Plaskus is able to get the puck into the neutral zone. Coyotes back in control. Cross ice pass and forward into the zone. Campbell has gotten the puck back, goes cross ice for Letcher. Letcher dumps it back in. Polauskas was knocked off sides. Paulo came in on the forecheck, and we're going to go all the way down. Paulo, Chalicki, and Reynolds with Onak and Miller. Marty, is that better?
I think so. My brother-in-law in Louisville.
Okay. It's on, so. Face-off controlled by the Coyotes. Goes back to their D, puts it into the corner. Up the near board, back to the D. He puts it back into the backboard. Miller gets a stick on it, goes over to Onak. Onak ahead for Reynolds. Goes just a little too far for Reynolds to get to it, and the Coyotes get a hold of it, bring it back into the neutral zone. Onak gets a stick on it, goes back in behind the net. Coyotes put it into the corner. Paulo gets a stick on it, goes over to Reynolds. Reynolds shot, deflected, and in to the netting, out of play. Kruger, Credidio, and Carter with Onak and Miller. 10:03 to go. Still 2-0 Fury. Coyotes winning a lot of faceoffs. Puck goes over to the near board. They're able to get it out and into the neutral and bounce off the stick. Onak up for Credidio. Credidio's dump attempt got deflected. Credidio battling in the corner. Gets out from under him. Credidio getting a little feisty away from the play. Carter tries to get it up to Onak. Onak gets it into the neutral zone. Coyotes right back in on the attack. Miller takes it away. Gets it over to Carter. Carter to Credidio. Bounces away from Credidio, and the Coyotes put it right back in. Miller and Kruger trying to get the puck out. Carter there too. Coyotes get it back. Put a shot on Cutting. Cutting puts it to the corner. Cutting able to see everything right now. Oh, puck is right in front. That was dangerous. Kruger tries to get it up to Credidio. Gets it across the red line and dumps it in. Brown and Bergeron come on. Seidel comes on. Brzgintis and Aldridge out on D. Puck hits a skate of Coyotes. Bergeron gets it over to Aldridge. Aldridge to Seidel. Seidel across the red line, chips it in on net, and it's covered by the Coyotes. 8:27 to go into third. Still 2-0. Original goal, not sure if it was Onak or Letcher. I'll have to take a look later. And then Letcher with the the penalty shot goal. I'm losing my voice a little bit. Aldridge able to get that puck up through the zone. Seidel has Brown with him. Shot bounces off of the goaltender's chest. He struggles to keep it from getting out of his glove. Fletcher taking the draw. Coyotes in control over to the far side. They dump it again into the corner. Brzgintzis over for Pulauskas. Pulauskas to Letcher. Letcher's got some speed. Brings it in. Quick shot. Bounces off of the goaltender in front. But Coyotes, kind of take out Nietzsche and they get it into the neutral zone. Pulauskas battling in the corner. Campbell puts it up for Letcher. Letcher slows it down to get some space. Over to Pulauskas. Pulauskas brings it in, goes wide, takes a hard hit into the boards. Coyotes go back the other way. Very physical team, the Coyotes. Good job by Campbell. Nice hip check. Puck over to Rybicki. Rybicki goes around the net. So Coyote player takes the net with him as he goes around. And then I don't know what happened there. If he got a stick to the face or if he just fell and hit his head on the ice. Don't know what happened. Hollow, Reynolds, and Chilicki go to take the draw. Coyotes win another faceoff. Got a hold of it in the neutral zone. Chilicki trying to get that puck over to Paulo. Bounces off, and Coyotes bring it back. Reynolds gets a pass from Onak. Sidesteps a couple of guys, puck to Paulo. Chilicki's shot goes wide. Onak goes back to Chilicki. To Paulo in the slot with the goal. 3-0 Fury, 6:29. So Onak's shot goes wide, rings around to, Chilicki's shot goes wide, rings around to Onak. Onak sees Chilicki open. Chilicki notices Paulo coming into the slot, gives a pass, and Paulo beats the goaltender. So good passing by Fury. And it's 3-0. Chilicki chips the puck over to Paulo. Paulo dumps it in, takes a hit, gets right back up. Gotta admire Paulo's ability to keep going with the play. Takes a lot of hits out there. Coyotes back in control. Paulo in a passing lane again. Puck gets over to Brzgintzis. Brzgintzis up for Credidio. Credidio got a skate on it, but we're going to call icing. Carter comes out to join Credidio with Kruger, Aldridge, and Brzgintzis at deep. Kruger wins that over to Aldridge. Aldridge around for Credidio. Credidio takes a hit. Puck comes out of the zone. Kruger gets a stick on it, takes a hit, slides into the boards. Coyotes put it right back in. Puck pass bounces off. That's not going to be icing because it was the Coyotes that did it themselves. Coyotes win the battle, the foot race against Credidio, come right back into the zone. Shot goes wide of cutting over to Carter. Carter it loses a stick, still kicking it. Over to Credidio. Credidio gets knocked away. Good job by Priskintis to get a body on the guy. Puck back up to the Coyotes D. Walking the blue line, takes a shot, goes wide, and it's on the back of the net. Priskintis knocks it off of the net, gloves it down, and then hard out of the glass. And that'll go for icing. 4:51 to go in the game. 3-0 Fury. Bergeron, Brown, and Seidel. Seidel. Face-off one back. Shot on Cutting. Cutting saves that. No rebound. Seidel takes the shot again. Puck over to the near board. Seidel battling with Rubicki and two of the Coyotes players, still trying to get it loose. Seidel gets it out, has Brown into the neutral zone, gets it past. Brown takes the shot. That's interference, no call. The ref's not even in the play. Coyotes go the other way. Coyotes slow down, get a shot, goes wide. Centering pass for the Coyotes over to the near board. It's going through. Brown sticking with his man. Back over to Campbell. Campbell chips it forward. Bounces past Brown. Brown gets in the way. Puck goes into the neutral zone. Coyotes put it back in. Over to Rubicki. Rubicki to Bergeron. Brown goes for a change. Looks like he broke his stick. Palauskas, Nietzsche, and Letcher are out. Miller working on the far board with Nietzsche. Flips up into the netting. Onak trying to get it, but it's not going to come out. Nietzsche squares up. Puck one back to Onak. Onak around for Palauskas. Palauskas chips it forward for Letcher. Letcher gets there. Avoids a hit, and the Coyote player goes down. Coyotes get it back to the neutral zone. Over to Onak. Onak goes for Letcher, misses, and that'll be icing. Kruger, Credidio, and Carter come out. Face off one back. Shot. Hits a couple of people, goes wide of Cutting. Over to the far board for Credidio. Credidio chips it ahead. Coyotes regain control. Dump it back in. Onak loses an edge. Puck under him. Somehow makes its way to Carter. Carter tries to get it out of the zone. Coyotes working it on the near board. And they try to pass it. Goes all the way back. Coyotes goaltender lets it go. Coyotes make two moves. Gets it over to the near board and then put back in. Cutting slows it down for Aldridge. Aldridge around for Carter. Carter doesn't have anybody on him. So the head for Credidio. Credidio for Kruger. Kruger takes a hit. Puck bounces off of the boards and Coyotes regroup. Kruger comes off. Paolo comes on. Credidio puts the puck behind the net. Makes its way to Carter. Carter tries to pin it on the boards, gets knocked away by the Coyotes. Makes a change. So no look backhand into the zone. Coyotes flip it out of play. Chalicki joins Reynolds and Paulo. Minute 40 to go. Coyotes win that faceoff back, put it right back into the zone. Priskintis for Reynolds to Paulo. Paulo loses the puck, but gets it over to Reynolds. Reynolds tries to make a move, gets left. Priskintis picks it up, puts it in deep. Reynolds into the corner, takes a hit. Paulo and Reynolds still working. Coyotes get a hold of it. Campbell comes on for Priskintis. Paulo changes, and Seidel comes on. Offsides. Brown and Bergeron change for Chalicki and Reynolds. So Seidel, Brown, and Bergeron with Campbell and Rubicki. 59.4 seconds to go. Seidel flips that into Reynolds' chest. Face-off pushed into the zone by the Coyotes. Rubicki gets there, over to the near board, into the corner for Campbell. Campbell just pins it. Puck still in some feet, comes loose. Seidel pins his guy. Campbell working, shot off of Cutting's head, back behind the net. Puck comes up, Brown intercepts. He's got the neutral zone. Got some time, brings it in, takes a bit of a slash, battles a guy, gets the puck behind the net. Brown knocks it away again, keeps it in the zone. Coyotes back through the neutral zone, try to get past Rubicki. Campbell comes in, puts it over for Brown. 5 seconds to go. Brown tries to get it out, kept in by the Coyotes, over to Rubicki, and Rubicki skates it out. Oh, Cutting with the shutout. 3-0 win over Phoenix Coyotes, who of our opponents were ranked a little bit higher than us. So a good win by the boys. We'll have another game tomorrow at 4 against the Rocky Mountain Rough Riders. Hope to see you guys all there tomorrow. So thanks a lot for hanging out. Have a good night.